be for the North Dakota FFA Association. Actually, your dollars are going to go to the foundation, which then supports you. But we have guests here, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So, Haley, do you want to start off and introduce yourself, who you are?
Yes, I can. My name is Haley Maddock. I'm currently serving as the North Dakota FFA State Vice President. I'm originally from Maddock, North Dakota, and my home chapter is Maddock A.S. Gibbons FFA chapter. And I'm currently going to NDSU, majoring in journalism with a minor in English.
Fantastic. Regan?
Hi, my name is Regan Jones. I'm from the Pheasant and Bone FFA chapter, and I'm currently serving as the state treasurer. I'm also at NDSU with Haley, and I'm majoring in crop and weed science.
Okay, so we brought you in today to talk a little bit about FFA. When did you guys start? Were you junior high members? Did you start in high school? Tell us about your FFA careers, and we'll start with Regan.
I started in 7th grade. I was not an egg girl. I was raised on a farm, but I did not want to be on a farm in my future. So my advisor and my dad pushed me to try agronomy.
Okay.
And obviously that worked out because I'm going into an egg major. So FFA is really just a great organization to help explore like career paths and things to do in your future.
Okay. So I'm going to pose a slightly different question to you, Haley. We talk about FFA as it's a three-legged stool. There are 3 different components. Can you tell us the 3 different components of FFA and what that brings to students each way?
Yes, so we have the 3 components are the SAE, FFA, and then in-classroom learning.
Okay, explain SAE.
So SAE is a supervised agricultural experience. So this is going to be a type of work study kind of for members to go outside of their FFA chapters, and they kind of man their own little project for FFA, and you'll get instructor help and all sorts of other things that are going to help you to develop into a different career and interest paths. And then you have the FFA, which is just the National FFA. It's no longer called the Future Farmers of America, even though sometimes it gets confused that way. But the FFA is a leadership ag education organization, and it's one of the biggest student-led organizations in the nation. So
I think it's still on top. I think we still are the largest. And I like what you said about the fact that we're no longer just the Future Farmers of America. Yeah. I brought my jackets with because I'm extremely proud of my heritage with FFA. And the distinction is this is my chapter jacket, and on the back I have the emblem that says vocational education, and then we changed to agricultural education that's on my state officer jacket. So I got to have both logos in my years. That was pretty awesome for both emblems.
Now, what made you two want to join the FFA?
FFA is a big thing in my family. All my cousins were in it. My dad was in it. So I was kind of forced to be in it. Okay. I'm not going to lie. But I found a home in FFA. I found friends in FFA. So that really pushed me to keep trying new events and just to keep participating.
Okay. And Haley, you said your major is journalism. Yeah. So might you, after being in the FFA now, might you switch that to some agriculture?
So actually, I've gotten talked to a lot about this because my dad wanted me to go into ag comm, but so I decided to go into journalism because not only will I be able to talk on those agricultural subjects, but I'll also go into I can go into plenty of other different areas of discussion on different interests. I don't have to just focus in on my one identity as an agriculturist. So.
Right. Okay.
So when you think about the things that you've done through FFA, etc., what was your favorite contest? What was the best thing that you got to do in your whole career so far?
So I joined the FFA in 7th grade. I didn't do any contests that year, but in 8th grade we had a senior graduate, so I had to step in as the next prepared public speaking competitor. And I was in prepared public speaking for 5 years because I was gung-ho about getting that baby bison. So I guess so. My journey was a little different in that because I never actually did reach that milestone, but I did end up getting 2nd place last year, so that was a pretty proud accomplishment for me.
The baby bisons are the trophies that go to the top individual,
yes.
by the way.
Gotcha.
Just so you know what that is. Yes.
Did you ever get one?
I never got a baby bison. I got to compete because I competed in several contests, but I was the state runner-up who had to participate nationally for the winner who couldn't go, and then I was we were a state winning parliamentary procedure team, and only the individuals get bisons, the team do not.
Yep.
I see.
So yes. I'm okay.
Sure, it'll be okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I brought beer.
It ain't going to be around for long. But what would you say to someone who's not involved in agriculture, not involved in FFA, someone who wants to get maybe more information, or maybe they want to just experience a little bit more about what it is, see if they have an interest in maybe wanting to get into it?
So I would say, first of all, find a chapter around you and talk to that advisor. The big problem we have now is it's transferring over from just being farmers to more of agriculture as a whole, which covers a lot more industries now. So there's still a lot of people with that stigma that is just farmers. So getting the students to understand that, and then understand like the leadership qualities that can come from it, the career paths, because those are really just what FFA is all about.
Yeah, so you can getting involved with your chapter, like she said, and even if you're not at the age where you can be an FFA, you're not a high schooler, you can get involved in alumni chapters. So those really help with FFA. Yeah.
Okay, so that was going to be a good point. Even as adults,
Yes.
we're still needed. As alumni, also we can judge contests. Okay, we can be a part of that. Sometimes you could be chaperones. I'm not sure if I recommend that for either one of you two.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
Us.
Yeah, not a good idea.
No.
I mean, you're both dads. You should have this down. But, when we do National FFA Convention, which is what time of the year?
October.
October every year. There are 65,000 students at this convention.
Wow.
They need judges. They need chaperones. They need adults who can be there for a variety of reasons. So just bear that in mind that we can get you guys involved too.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And like
just
you were
end.
saying, it's branched more from just farmers. When I was in high school in 2009 to 2013, it was still Future Farmers of America, FFA. And, I come from no ag background. No one in my family does ag except my grandpa now, who does a little bit of hay back in the day. But I took a couple of ag classes when I was in high school because mainly I had to fill credits to graduate. So it's like, let's go take greenhouse production. This will be fun. Let's see what it's like. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Started doing a couple other things. Never became a member of FFA, but I was involved with some of the people that were members, and I went to a couple of things. And one of the biggest takeaways I remember is going to it was one of the ag shows, and we went there just to kind of spectate, see what it was like, and we got to be a part of a milk tasting demonstration.
Yes.
And I just remember they're like, depending on what the cow eats, it changes the flavor of the milk. And they're like, here, try this one. What's it taste like? And you spit it out, and you're like, it tastes like an onion. Why would you give me that? But I just thought it was really fun that, like you said, it's not just for people in farming or agriculture. There's a bigger aspect to it now that more and more people can get involved with.
That's going to be huge. And we have with us in studio a couple of our state FFA officers for North Dakota. And that would be Haley Maddox. She's the vice president. And Regan Jones. She's the treasurer. But then online, we have a video guest today. I mean, we got all sorts of things going, you guys. We have Christy Apple. Christy is with TMAC Agro. Christy, can you hear me okay? And do you want to give a quick introduce to you?
Hi, friends. Thank you so much for having me on today. As Bridget mentioned, I am Christy Apple with TMAC Agro USA. I represent a biotech company. We are an international company. We have properties where we're touching farmland all over the globe through the Roulier Group and TMAC Agro International. We're a proud sponsor of an event that was just recently held in North Dakota, and we were really, really excited to pick a benefactor for this particular fundraiser. That's very near and dear to my personal heart, as I am a currently retired FFA mom.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and Christy and I finally got to meet in person last week. She's actually in Michigan and came all the way over for Agronomy on Ice, which I was a part of. You guys knew that.
Devil's Lake.
Absolutely, up at Devil's Lake. So, Christy, I have brought a six-pack of beer. Do you want to explain what you at TMAC Agro did with this beer to benefit North Dakota's FFA today on Giving Hearts Day?
Yeah, so we were an event sponsor for the recent Agronomy on Ice, as Bridget had mentioned. And the whole goal there was to interact with farmers and to build relationships in that region. We currently have a strong presence in that region with our sales force out there. But my husband, myself, several others from our organization decided to get behind what was happening on ice in Devil's Lake, not just for the novelty of it, but like I said earlier, we're just really passionate about FFA in any way that we can touch the young people in our ag community with inspiration, with support. And I'm really, really excited to hear that we have, somebody interested in agronomy sitting at the table besides just Bridget and I. Ag needs more female faces, and I'm so excited to have both of you a part of that. So we decided to, we partnered with one of the breweries in North Dakota, thanks to Jason Hansen and the team there to make that arrangement, and we sponsored that beer. They put a label on it. It was a People Choice label with a little agronomy pun called Off Label. And essentially, we handed out beer at the Agronomy on Ice event. Yes, it was sub-zero. Yes, we were standing on 28 inches of ice. Yes, it was the most walking I think ever.
It was. It made the beer colder.
We didn't even have to put it in a cooler. Although we did provide really cute little coolers and koozies, but that was mainly to protect your hand from it freezing.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. There was some beer slushies had.
And Christy is so
what
right.
We did was, I'm sorry, Bridget. What we were doing was basically just ask for a donation to FFA. We would exchange. This is our gift back to the participants of the Agronomy on Ice event. If you want some beer, we'd ask that you make a donation to FFA, North Dakota's FFA Foundation. So that worked out really awesome, and we are really excited to present that donation to you guys today.
So Laughing Sun Brewery did the beer. They put the special label on it. T-Mac Agro, where Christy Apple is with, her group, they are the ones who sponsored it. So Christy, how many dollars are we getting to the North Dakota FFA Foundation to support students?
So we actually have still, even after the event, we've still been kind of trickling in with a couple donations in exchange for cases of beer here. So we're right at $2,000 today that we'd like to present to the foundation.
That's
Sweet.
To support. Yeah.
There's going to be more.
We're excited, and it wasn't just us. It was a huge group effort.
It was. And Christy, it was so awesome that you came all the way from Michigan to help be a part of that, to make sure that this beer got out to folks. This was for the adults, not for the students. I want to make sure. Clear distinction here. Absolutely. So
we were carding.
We were checking. So my question is, and this is going to go to the students, to Regan and Haley, who are joining us, and then Christy, I'm going to go to you too. But when you think about another $2,000 to the FFA Foundation, how is that money going to be spent within your foundation? Any ideas where it's going to go?
A big thing is supervised agricultural experience grants, so then the students can start their own or continue expanding them. And another big thing that the foundation does is college scholarships, which I know helped me.
all helpful. And Christy, as a retired, so to speak, FFA mom, where is there anywhere that you remember donating money to that's really near and dear to your heart that you would say, hey, of this $2,000, we should maybe make sure it goes to this particular area? Anything come to mind?
Yeah, although my children came from a rural setting, an agricultural setting, a majority of our local program and our local chapter, which was the Alma FFA, was urban students and city kids that didn't have a place to have an animal, that didn't have a network of mentors or people that were willing to provide them with an SAE environment. And so for our particular program, it was really, really critical to have support like this to build pens in a barn, to put drip irrigation into the greenhouse at the school, to improve our ventilation systems so that the kids could do different projects, so that we could afford the dummy cow so that our kids could do a calf delivery demonstration competition, right? Those things that farm kids naturally would have access to, our children in our program, our young people in our program just did not have that. And so these types of funds were essential into making those experiences happen and have produced kids into now the professional side of things. You know, they went from being that 8th grader wondering about FFA to now being agronomists and researchers at companies like Bayer and other organizations, right? So everywhere from the vocational side of the spectrum all the way up to the PhD side of the spectrum, our chapter has been able to impact our community with pouring resources to students like this. So again, it's just a really cool opportunity, and I'm so excited to be able to play a role in helping the North Dakota FFA to distribute funds like that.
This is going to be awesome, and it's the dollars that we do, but also the support that we can do as adults, because I'm planning on roping the two of you in to be judges at state convention in June anyway, just so you know.
I think we can make something work there.
I'm up for it.
Yeah, I think we might.
And if any of our listeners would like to give on behalf of the FFA,
yes,
just log on to givingheartsday.org, and you can donate on behalf of the FFA right through there. So
absolutely,
yeah.
And the ladies today are wearing these stylish blue jackets, and there's also a program called Blue Jackets and Bright Futures, and you can donate your dollars that could go right to designating an FFA jacket for a student who can't afford their own. Because who doesn't want to look good in blue corduroy? I just got to tell you. By the way,
is it still corduroy?
Oh yeah,
they are still corduroy.
They are. They are still hot in June.
Do you think they'll ever change that?
Oh, no.
I mean, corduroy was big back when we were.
No, these started when the jackets originated back in the 1930s.
Really?
And
they're keeping it corduroy.
They're iconic.
They are.
They are.
People know that these are the jackets.
Hey, be lucky you didn't have corduroy pants like we did when we were growing up, because you could hear somebody coming down the hallway.
So, Christy, as we get closer to the end of our segment here, do you want to give a shout out for TMAC Agro, how people can find you, and if they were interested in maybe still getting a hold of some off-label beer, any suggestions on how we could do that? I know I can help.
Yeah, definitely. So if you do want to make a donation and get some of this limited edition off-label beer, first of all, it's excellent. It's an easy drinking beer if you're a beer connoisseur. So I highly recommend you do that. Bridget, Jason Hansen with Rock and Roll Agronomy, Kyle Oakey from Agile Agronomy, they can help get the physical beer to you. They can also help facilitate the donation as well. If you want to look up TMAC Agro USA, as I mentioned earlier, we are a biotech company. We specialize in building relationships at the farm level to bring solutions that help both the environment as well as the farmer to prosper. That is the heart of everything that we do, is to lift up the farmers in biotech solutions and also in that field partnership. If you want to check me out personally, you can find me on all the social media platforms, Christy Lee Apple, or Crop Scout Christy, as I'm known in many circles. Please feel free to follow along. Any one of those channels can help get you in touch if you'd like to make a donation, if you'd like to get your hands on some of that limited edition beer, or if you just like to learn more about what our mission is and what we're doing. We'd love to have you along for the ride. Thank you so much to this team, to the folks that put on Agronomy on Ice. We are so excited to come back next year as the beverage sponsor, the official refreshment sponsor for that event. And I know it'll be even bigger and better.
And I just want to let folks know that we may have to have Christy back on as a guest for us here on Weather and Ag in Focus, because she told me that she has the opportunity to work with the fun crops, hops, hemp, and grapes, wine grapes.
That's perfect.
Yep.
You're going to fit in great here.
Yeah.
Maybe you should come to it.
I had a feeling. See, when I first saw Bridget, like, we've known each other online for a couple of years. We're also workout buddies. We're accountability partners for lifestyle fitness.
Farm Fit Mama.
Which, thanks, Bridget. Did you work out today?
I'm going to do it later.
Okay. Text me. Okay. But, when we first met each other, like in real life, we both already knew it was going to be a great fit. And for the other people that were in the room when we did meet, I apologize. Their ears are still ringing because of the squealing and excited and the jumping up and down and hugging. It was fantastic. But it's not very often that you find women that you can vibe with in this industry that just have a heart for things like FFA and true real agronomy and doing the right thing for the farmer. And so Bridget and I vibe on a lot of those levels. Absolutely love her. And I would love to come back and join you guys sometime, and we can talk about all kinds of stuff. But yes, I am known for consulting in the party crops, is what we call them. She called them the fun crops. But we'll just be honest, they're the party crops.
They kind of are. And so for the ladies who are joining us here with the North Dakota FFA Association, so to Haley and to Regan, how are folks going to be able to find out more about what you do in FFA? What are the contact ways that they can find you here in North Dakota?
For the association, you can go on ndffa.org.
Mm-hmm.
For the foundation, it's ndffa.com.
Okay.
And then as far as state officers go, we have a lot of social media. So like Instagram and Facebook, you can find us on ND State FFA officers. And yeah, we each have our own accounts too if you want to go look at those.
Well, I'm going to ask Regan. Something's coming up very, very soon that coincides with George Washington's birthday. You want to give a little highlight for that, please?
Yes, FFA week is coming up. Do you know the exact dates? Is it the 18th through the 20?
Something. Yeah, it's the week of the 18th.
Yeah, during that week, our state officer team will be traveling around the state, visiting different chapters, and seeing how they celebrate FFA week, along with putting on some workshops to help grow leadership qualities.
That's awesome. So this has been pretty much Women in Ag dominating the last two segments, gentlemen. Any questions from you two? Kind of blew you away there, sorry.
Hey, no, that's fine.
What would you two say to anybody that's thinking about joining the FFA? What would you say to them?
Getting involved with the FFA it's a life-changing experience. You are going to gain so many new qualities and skills through being part of this organization that you would have never realized that you could have gotten. So it's definitely a jump you should take because it's going to benefit you in so many ways.
Well, and look at Bridget and Christy. They've been friends for, I mean, this brought them together by both being in the FFA. So that's something you can look forward to, too. Lifelong friends, and you're helping out the ag community.
And as career-wise, as getting a head start with FFA, how many doors do you think maybe that might open, or how many different directions can you outreach from FFA with jobs? I mean, when I was in school, I heard FFA. It's like, I don't want to be a farmer. Why would I be a part of this? How many different options, routes are there now?
There are so many doors that are open because you are in FFA. I know the different events teach you different skills, and you don't think how important they are until you get to college. And yeah, for like example, like plant ID, I know all of them actually. For like the ones I got tested on, I'm like, wow, this is easy. Yeah. And just going to talk to people and mentioning that you were in FFA, they want to have that conversation with you about how FFA made you a better person and the skills you've learned through that. So it opens a lot of doors.
Awesome.
It's been fabulous. Well, we appreciate you guys coming in today and spending a little bit of time with us. So thank you for that. To those who are listening, keep donating. We still want to drive those totals higher for the FFA. I was told as we started the segment that so far today the FFA has raised for the foundation $43,640, looking to cap last year's $56,000. So
it was 56 the record last year.
I think that was the high last year. So we're looking for more people.
Oh, we got lots of listeners out there,
and you got
a lot of people with a lot of extra money, and I got a bunch of extra money in Dean's wallet over here. So I think that we could probably throw a little towards that. But why don't we try? Tomorrow's payday. I think maybe we can get this record broke by the end of the day.
We're going to see what we can do. So again, thank you to Haley and to Regan for joining us from North Dakota FFA, to Christy Apple for joining us from TMAC Agro in Michigan. And folks, we're going to catch up with Jesse Allen and the American Ag Network